sponsored NordVPN, the great
Of unplanned. I should have planned a better segue to our sponsor.
show is sponsored by NordVPN.
We've all seen this before. It seems like no matter what video you click on now, there is always some 30-second segment of your favorite YouTuber promoting something. Whether it be Raid, Shadow Legends, or Surfshark VPN, or Aura, or A1 Greens. The list just goes on and on. It's part of your normal YouTube experience now. While sponsorships that were just in the background of every video, such as Ninda being sponsored by Red Bull and changing his bandana, or G Fuel giving creators custom flavors, have always been around, it seems like one day these sponsored segments just showed up. To understand this sudden boom, we first need to discuss how the iPod led to Raid Shadow Legends appearing in your nightmares. While it may seem like YouTube videos had this sudden invasion of sponsored segments, they've actually been around for way longer than you think, but just in the podcast scene. Yes, the thing everyone and their grandma is trying to start, even if they have nothing to talk about, is relevant to Raid Shadow Legends showing up in your videos if you do enough mental gymnastics, so stay with me. The podcast format seems to be born around 2004, and this makes sense, as just a few years before in 2001, the iPod had launched. Now that people had a small and portable way to store a large amount of audio content on themselves and then listen to it while grocery shopping, working out, or driving, having a show that often acted as background noise you could tune into at any point in the conversation and be engaged was perfect. This boost in popularity didn't go unnoticed by the marketing departments of companies either. One of the first ever sponsorships in a podcast appeared on the show MommyCast, which was sponsored by the Dixie Cup Company, which makes custom designed paper plates and cups. On top of all that, a study in 2022 by Acast, a podcasting hosting service, found that 64% of all listeners listen all the way through an audio ad, and 80% of listeners trust recommendations by the host. By 2008, the sponsorship deal with MommyCast and Dixie was worth over 6 figures, according to the Wall Street Business Journal. And in 2008, that was a lot of money, especially for online content creation. Deals like these can be extremely valuable to creators who may not receive enough from AdSense to fully subsidize the production cost of their videos. By 2019, this trend of mid-video sponsorships began appearing in normal videos, and this makes perfect sense. I think a lot of people forget just how big YouTube is. In 2019, when sponsorships started appearing, there was over 500 hours of content published to the site in every single minute. That's a whopping 720,000 hours a day. And there are more than enough eyeballs to satisfy the astonishing amount of content being published every day. Take a second and think how many hours people were watching YouTube every day in 2019. Oh, wait. Wrong. Well, unless you were right. But it's over 1 billion hours per day. That is such a large number, it's almost impossible to comprehend. So with YouTube being such a behemoth, it makes sense that these major companies would want to get their product in front of as many eyeballs as possible. Okay, now we know when sponsorships like these started showing up on YouTube, I think it's a good time to take a step back and discuss how these sponsorships actually work and where creators get money from overall on YouTube. So, there are 3 ways to make money on YouTube: AdSense, premium viewers watching your video, and sponsors. AdSense is that pesky maybe 5-15 second video you probably didn't watch when you clicked on this video, because I don't come anywhere close to the requirements to actually make money. So anyway, now that my little shill is over, when you are eligible for AdSense, your videos get something called a CPM. CPM is just a simple representation of how much an advertiser would have to pay to run 1,000 ads in front of your video. YouTube then splits the money received from this advertising 55-45 with its creator, with YouTube receiving 45% of the profits. What the creator gets is called the RPM, and that is a representation of roughly how much the creator makes per 1,000 views your video gets. Now, this RPM number can vary drastically and can range from 1 cent on shorts all the way up to $20. Things such as industry, length of video, country the video is being played in, how many ads you are running in the middle of your video, and many, many, many more factors. But the average RPM seems to be around $2 per 1,000 views on a video. The second way to make money is through YouTube Premium viewers. This works with the same 55-45 split that is present with AdSense, but the split is with the $14 a month that YouTube Premium cost, with 55% split gets also split between the creators a YouTube Premium user will watch. For this section, I just want to add a disclaimer that this video is not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. I just use it as a case study, as most people seem to know what it is and information on it is readily available. Okay, now we have the basics of where money typically comes from on YouTube, we can start talking about how much money these sponsorships are paying, and holy f***, it's a lot. In just the last 6 months of 2021, Raid Shadow Legends' parent company, Polarium, spent $8.66 million just on sponsored segments within YouTube videos. With over $8.66 million worth of ads, Raid Shadow Legends was able to create over 5.3 thousand mentions of the game in videos. Now, where this really gets crazy is the CPM these companies are giving to creators that are doing the sponsorships. Raid Shadow Legends will give creators upwards of $20 per 1,000 views in the gaming category, while the YouTube RPM for the gaming category is roughly $2 to $4 depending on how long your videos are. Just to put that into perspective, the Game World Observer shows an example of a video with 261,000 views getting over 11.8 thousand in sponsorships from Polarium. But let's say that YouTube video has an RPM of $3. It's only making $783 from YouTube AdSense. That means the sponsor of that video paid a little over 15 times what the ads from the video made. The money from sponsors also typically come before the video is posted, and in some cases can even include a commission contract with the YouTuber, giving YouTubers even more money. With that in mind, it's no wonder that every YouTuber seems to be placing these ads in every video they can. And that is no way a diss to YouTubers that do sponsorships. For many, it allows them to either increase their income on the side of their normal job, or allows them to take YouTube full time. In many cases, it's the only way for some YouTubers to make money. YouTube has been notorious for demonetizing content of a video because someone farted a little too loudly or, God forbid, said naughty words. Especially if you watch more edgy content, those creators are seeing a significant decrease in ad revenue, and they rely on the money from sponsors to keep making the content that you like. Now, these companies wouldn't just be giving away money for no reason, so there's obviously something in it for them. It's pretty simple, actually. Sponsorships work. As mentioned before, YouTube is a giant with an endless amount of people constantly watching videos. But on top of just having a lot of people watching them, they also have a really engaged audience. When you watch a video, especially from a creator you like, you tend to be significantly more engaged with what they are saying. It's the same reason why traditional advertising uses celebrities in TV commercials. Going back to the ACAST study that claims 64% of listeners pay full attention through ads on an audio podcast, also 95% of frequent listeners take action at some point after hearing a sponsored segment. The ratio of eyeballs to views is also just massive. Using the Super Bowl, for example, in 2021, it cost advertisers $5.5 million just to place one 30-second ad in the commercials. This cost does not even include the production cost, such as paying celebrities to be in said ads, or paying for the camera crews and set to make it. Using Raid as a case study again, with their $8.66 million we previously mentioned, they were able to generate 442 million views on YouTube that all contained their Raid Shadow Legends ad. So, yeah. They get slightly more views while also significantly reducing their production cost, as in many cases it's up to the YouTuber to physically put in the time to create the ad and not Polarium itself. Okay, so you've heard me ramble for I don't know how long because I read all this before I do the voice recordings, but in short, these sponsorships are probably here to stay for a little while. For creators, they just offer way too much. They pay so much more than traditional ads, while also allowing creators that typically receive a lower RPM for ads to make YouTube a full-time gig. And while some of these companies may be sorta sketch, okay, really sketch, the ads being so productive will just keep drawing them to the site. If you got this far into the video, I would just like to say a quick thank you. This video took a lot of effort, and it means a lot to have people actually see it. This may be a little different from my normal content, but I still think it falls under the history umbrella, sorta. If you have any topics you think would be interesting for me to cover, feel free to leave it in the comments, or just any other thoughts you may have.